Final Four awaits for Liverpool. Villarreal, the opposition. It's the third time under Jurgen Klopp and the 12th time in their history. He got them rolling tonight. And Roberto Firmino's 2 goals looked to have wrapped things up nicely. But Benfica were a bit like a stone in Jurgen Klopp's shoe. They wouldn't quite go away. Proved to be a tough nut to crack. Came back with those 2 goals in the second half, helped out by VAR. No end. A busy night for the linesmen and indeed for the people in the VAR booth. Brian, what did you make of it?
Well, I don't think we'll see that combination of the back forward again. I mean, from Liverpool's point of view, Joel Matip would be the only one you consider a regular. And when they rely so much on the high line and the organisation of that offside trap, I presume that there wasn't a huge amount of time spent on drilling that with that unit, which caused them the problem tonight. I think that they conceded the goals and conceded several chances. Some of them were very fine line decisions, but still, overall, they were far the better team. It just made the match a bit more interesting that Benfica scored some goals. I don't think it'll have a huge effect on anything Liverpool do in the future. They protected some of the players for the Cup semi-final this weekend, and he's given lots of players a game and given them a start, and probably helped himself in knowing what his best team is for the nights where he doesn't want to rotate or experiment too much.
Damien, you're a high-line zealot. You're always very supportive and you reckon it's the right thing to do. But as Brian says, is it a case that it needs to be precision at all times and players who are familiar with what they're doing? And sometimes a night like this, maybe if it's slightly off, you can have issues.
Familiarity for players, a kind of sixth sense of where other people are. I mean, they only got a couple wrong tonight, and they were very, very fine margins. You know, Gomez got caught deep on one. Kanate, there were toes and arm pits keeping people on side. So I don't think Jurgen Klopp would be too worried. It was a pretty good performance from Liverpool. They were in control. He gave up a couple of chances, but they also scored 3 goals and then an advantage.
And never felt really in doubt, did it?
Never felt in doubt, no. I mean, they made a game of Benfica, in fairness to them. But the best thing about tonight is he managed to rest 6 players that probably come straight back into the team on the weekend.
Those Benfica players, they gave that big Benfica visiting fan base a good old rattle at the Reds tonight. They enjoyed their night. They come away with a 3-3 draw, but there ends their Champions League season. Liverpool march on. Another semi-final awaits. Villarreal. Let's look at the full-time stats then. Liverpool dominating the possession in the match, 63%, and the attempts on goal. But look at that, 4 attempts on target from Benfica and 3 goals. And that doesn't tell the story of all those fingernail tight offside decisions that were a bit of a talking point. But the 17 attempts on goal, Brian, that maybe Jurgen Klopp might feel, look, we should have put that to bed a lot earlier.
Yes, but it was the vulnerability defensively that stopped it from being more comfortable for them. But, you know, at one stage they're 6-2 ahead in the overall tie. And you
would think, that is fairness putting it to bed.
That's fairly clear-cut, you know. By the time it got to 6-4, it's 82 minutes. And then you're getting a bit frustrated and slightly worried, and particularly when Nunes had that great shot that Alisson had to make the save. That was a brilliant save and a very important moment, because there was still plenty of time had they got back to 6-5 for them to get another goal. Obviously, Liverpool were kind of, they were just losing their shape a bit at that stage of the match.
So it's defensive worries rather than not taking those chances that would be the note of concern.
Yes, I think so, because when you get to the stage where you're 3-1 ahead, that's comfortable enough. You've scored 3 goals in the match on the night, and that should be enough to do you. Then you're just relying on your defenders, your midfield players, to make sure that the opposition don't score goals and get back into the match. And as they push on, the opposition push on, there's more opportunity for you to exploit the fact that they've opened up even more at the back. But it didn't turn out that way, because Benfica got heartened by the fact that they could make chances and get goals, and they kept them going. And they made the match of it, but it was still comfortable, reasonably comfortable for Liverpool.
And one thing he has learned from these 2 games, Damien, is that in Konate, he has a real presence in the opposition penalty box for set pieces.
Yeah, he's a handful. He's a mountain of a man, and we spoke at half-time. how he just runs, picks up the flight of ball, stops, getting inside of the triangle of Benfica defenders there, jumps, doesn't use anyone for leverage, which is a surprising thing, and none of the Benfica players make an attempt to even upset him. There you go, you see him. I mean, one of them has to get some sort of physical contact on him, but take nothing away from the quality of the header, and he just squeezes in at the back post. But he had a really good night tonight again. We highlighted him before the game. I thought he'd done a really, really good job again tonight. Passing was exemplary as well. Threaded some wonderful balls through midfield. His turn of pace helped him out an awful lot as well. So he can be proud of his night's work.
You're a fan. Let's have a look at the goal then that made it 1-1. It was Ramos, the 20-year-old, who scored it. Was this goal unfortunate from a Liverpool point of view?
Yeah, they were a bit unlucky here because it comes off Milner. But look, he was onside anyway. And that's what I said. That understanding and the drilling of the back four for this game probably wasn't as precise as their normal back four with Robertson and Trent Alexander and Virgil van Dijk in it. And you see here Tsimikas has him onside, even though the ball comes out Milner in the end. But it was a beautiful finish, the 6th goal in the last 11 games for the 20-year-old Portuguese. It just scrapes the inside of the post on the way in, deadly finish. And it's not easy to beat Alisson from any position. He's such a big man filling the goal. I say when you're in that position, you wouldn't see an awful lot of the goal or the post even. It was a great finish.
The 2 goals from Roberto Firmino in the second half then, Damien, wrapped it up, we thought, before the bit of late flutter of drama. Is he a man who's sort of saying, you know what, I'm still here?
Yeah, don't forget about me. Yeah, a lot of people are saying now that maybe the front 3 have moved on, but he still had a great game tonight, linking it up. Gets a little bit fortunate here. Goalkeeper makes a mess of it. Vertonghen compounds it with an even bigger mistake, and I think Jota's having a shot there. But he follows it in. We just track him here. He's just drifting, which is what he does really well, He drops into those pockets, links it well, and then he's always been criticised for his lack of goals, but here he just gambles that the shot will get pulled across, and he's an easy tap in at the far
that
post.
gets him up to 5 goals in 6 games in the Champions League, Tommy.
11 goals in all competitions
this season, so he's having quite a good season. How happy he is to be probably 5th choice of those 5 front players, we don't know, but he's been great value since they signed him.
In purely in league terms, Brian, he's only started 9 Premier League games, 9 substitute appearances, but he's also been unavailable for 12 of them between injuries, and he missed one with COVID, etc., etc. So, I mean, as well as saying I'm still around, a regular run of being available and fit, I guess that's what he needs as well, right? Yeah,
and he probably needs some of the others not to be in such good form. It's a beautifully controlled volleyed finish, great ball in behind the defence. He keeps his eye on it. You see he makes the run. Lots of players, the goal scorer, Ramos lets him go. Times it perfectly to stay onside. Not such an easy finish as he made that look, to catch it at the pace it's travelling and keep it down.
He's been on the road for a long time in that front 3, and he maybe had a little bit of a burnout.
It's very
injuries
unusual
catching up with him.
for 3 players to go like that. I think this is the 5th season.
Yeah, where they were carrying that,
Firmino.
and I think he'll benefit from someone coming in and picking up the load, because although he was unavailable for 12 and substitute, that almost comes as a rest for him, and it reignite his love of the game, because mentally more than anything, you get tired when you're playing that amount of games and the pressure's on over
Travelling
3, 4, 5 years.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And if you're Jurgen Klopp overall from tonight, where you made 7 changes, is that what you wanted, as well as getting through and having getting the job done? Is that guys are absolutely bursting to get into the team? We could have thought you guys were looking at doing a piece about Jota's night, and Diaz had some great moments as well, and that they can fit in seamlessly as well. That it's not just guys who are coming in and throwing everything off. And it looked like Liverpool. You know what I mean? It wasn't a kind of a haphazard performance. It wasn't pieced together. They weren't complete control, but had an awful lot of control of that game. Early on they passed the ball really well, they retained it really well, they create chances at will. Okay, you can speak about Benfica attacking on the goals and making somewhat a game of it, but I think when you step back and take the emotion out of it, Liverpool were in complete control of that game, and having made 7 changes at a quarter-final of Champions League stage only bodes well for them. But the only concern on that front then, Brian, is to take us back to where we started, is that the changes at the back mean that sometimes things can go a little bit awry. Yeah, but look, that's the joy that you get in watching Liverpool. If you like open attacking matches, they take risks. Here they're open in the middle of the field. Firmino doesn't get across. Time in the pass, excellent the time in the run. Initially we thought, he's offside. Yaremchuk, come on, the big
The Ukrainian player plays through the middle forces. Nunes, the wide position. Good pass. You see the position of Gomez here. He's just slightly behind the other three, but still a very good finish. Neat touch to take it past the goalkeeper. So he's running at pace. I think he's not the most mobile-looking big centre forward, but that was really tasty finish.
I thought what's really just about that Liverpool is Konaté's position there. The centre backs don't really cover each other, so to speak. You know, they get very high and they get very flat. Traditionally, you don't coach that. And here's another one where he gets in. And
you're talking armpits and toes again.
Absolutely, and this is Konaté's toe just.
We thought he was off. We thought Joe Mario was off.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But you know,
then you see the line after, because Gomez gets out, make sure he's not the one caught this time. And it looks Joe Mario has
what a finish,
touched the ball. You see there, it's actually Konaté's right foot is keeping him on side.
Looks good, Darwin Núñez.
Definitely.
Impressed.
I think he's still in the game till the 85th minute. He's still doing.
And it's
really
finishing, even the offside ones that weren't given.
2 goals when he's in
Seriously good
offside
finishes.
position. Precise finish.
Quite enough for Benfica. Liverpool are through.